Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, RGV, Sunday morning online service. We are grateful and delighted that you have joined us this morning for some time of mindful contemplation, affirmations, meditation, and music. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We are a love-based and all-inclusive spiritual community. We embrace an open heart and an open mind. Unity is a blending of Christianity with science, transcendentalism, and the power of prayer through positive thinking and affirmations. We believe in making a positive difference in the world. We offer spiritual teachings that provide practical tools for meaningful and abundant living. As an inner spiritual community, we draw from and honor all paths to God. As divine love and expression, we envision a spiritually transformed and peaceful world. We live in the truth of who we are through meditation, prayer, study, and service. Though we have no dogma, we do have 5 principles that are our guiding philosophy. We are spiritual, not religious. Our fundamental belief is that all is one, and our fundamental practice is living in the present moment. If you would like to learn more about Unity, you may visit our website, unityrgv.org, or the central website, which is unity.org. Once again, thank you for joining us and welcome to Unity. Our announcements for this morning are that the classes continue, and that is Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., Let's Get Metaphysical, and the collaborative meditation at 8 o'clock on Thursday. Once again, as I said last week, the board met and we are looking at reopening tentatively right now, either Memorial Day weekend or the one after. More likely the one after, because Memorial Day, well, people have plans and things are going on and traveling and whatnot. So maybe that's not the best time to open. So maybe the following week. We're still looking at all that. And of course, we're going to be following CDC guidelines. We're going to ask you to wear a mask when you come in. Vaccines, I don't know if we can really require them, but we certainly recommend them. And we'll have a certain amount of social distancing if possible. Again, we're going to try to combine the reopening with some sort of a luncheon or something. So we might be doing it somewhere else, not here at Unity, so that we can have a little more room. And as soon as we get that all squared away, I will relay that to you. What else do we have going on? Let's see. My ordination online. As you know, I've been approved for ordination. The actual one will be June 14th. And it'll be from the village, but it'll be online. And I'll get you the link when I get it. And you can watch it if you like. It'll be a brief one. At least my part will be. I'll probably just show my picture and say, you are ordained and be on your way, or something, I don't know. But anyway, if you would like to join in on that and watch, I certainly do welcome you too. I think that's all our announcements for today. I invite you this morning to take a deep centering breath as we begin today's service, and change your focus, your attention, to that indwelling divinity within us, throughout us. And I'd like to read some words, as I did last week, about starting again, because I want to instill the idea that we are at that place, which we always are, but sometimes it's more evident than other times. And this one is very evident, that we are at that point where we really do have a chance to start all over, and with something brand new, and give it all in a new energy that we've been accumulating during this year plus, and wanting to release and express. And so that time is coming back together. And so I'm going to read something from an old daily word, when the day of the word of the day was renew. And the affirmation was, the divine within renews my spirit. I take time for the renewal of my mind and body. I feel spirit within and all around me. filling my soul with love and joy. There is unlimited proof of the divine when I choose to see with my spiritual vision. I watch little children find joy and amazement in the smallest things. I encounter random acts of kindness in my daily life. Each time I look with my divine nature, I am renewed by what I see. I am heir to abundance, to renewing energy within and outside of me always fills me with abundance. It is always there, even if I don't feel it. Sharing words and acts of love and blessings is another way to feel renewed. By giving back as the Spirit within has given to me, to us, I impact divine love to others, and my spirit is renewed. I share this love and this spiritual energy with everyone. And so it is.
This is a song by my dad. I feel love in me today. I feel love in me today. I feel love in me today. I feel peace in me today. I feel peace in me today. I feel peace in me today. I feel joy in me today. I feel joy in me today. I feel joy in me today. I feel love in me today. I feel love in me today. I feel love in me today.
Join me now in Unity RGB vision and affirmation statements. Unity RGB is an expanding center of the Christ light, minded to attract its good and radiate good to others. Centered in God, we express the indwelling Christ.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
As we start this time of inner reflection, let's begin by getting comfortable. Remove all objects from your lap, place your feet on the floor, and sit up comfortably in your chair. Relax the muscles in your face, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Feel your hips, legs, feet, and toes relax as well. Release any areas of tension you feel in your body. Take a deep, centering breath. Slowly inhale, gently hold for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale. Repeat a few times. Focus on your inhalation and exhalation as you continue to relax your body. Gently breathe in and out. Just relax and breathe naturally. You now feel the increased sense of relaxation to your body with every breath. Feel calmness and peace wash over you. Now let's center our attention to the daily word for today, which is grace. Our Bible verse is from John 1:16 and reads, From his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. Today's affirmation is, the grace of God is alive in me. Let's say that once together. The grace of God is alive in me. Our message reads, I don't do anything to earn or deserve the grace of God because it's always present, mine to claim in any situation. Grace dawns in my awareness as soon as I move beyond the limits of my human understanding. I let go and let the peace, love, wisdom, and strength of God fill me, lift me, and guide me. In both the challenging and the ordinary moments of life, the grace I give and the grace I receive keep the awareness of God in my heart. During a tough conversation, a thought comes to mind that helps reestablish harmony. As I mull an important decision, a fresh insight clarifies my thinking. Feeling overwhelmed by my to-do list, I feel renewed energy and move forward with strength and enthusiasm. In these moments and more, I discover grace anew. Now let's close our eyes and take these words and this affirmation into the silence.
Down in my soul, I love the silence. Down in my soul, I love the silence. Down in my soul. The whole wide world is my home. I've got a new day down in my soul. I've got a new day
Hello there, Unity Spiritual Center of Rio Grande Valley. It is so good to be with you, not in person yet, but at least virtually. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be with you on this wonderful Sunday morning. I was in person 2 years ago, almost to the day. It was actually Mother's Day. And I started thinking about that visit and how wonderful it was, and about the talk that I gave and the women that we got to share information about, and thought, I don't think I'm ever quite done sharing information about women and in spiritual communities and some of the things that you may not know about them or may never have heard about them, and that I love to bring these to you. So I'm taking advantage of the opportunity that we're just 1 week from Mother's Day to talk about women who stirred the spiritual pot. And there have been plenty of them, but today we're just going to talk about 3. So bear with me, and thank you for allowing me to do a little bit of repeating and talking about one of my favorites, Mary Magdalene. She represents metaphysically the divine feminine. And the divine feminine appears not only in women, of course, but in men as well. And it's something that we come into the world with, that we're blessed with, and exists in all of us. So when I'm talking about women, I'm really talking about the divine feminine and that feeling, the feeling side of our being. So first I'm going to talk about Mary Magdalene, one of my favorites. Her birth name was Mary, and the Magdalene came from the town where she was born, Magdalene, and that's the way they did it back in those days. First name and then the village was the last name. So originally she came into the story of Jesus because he was said to cast out the 7 demons from her. So as we know that sin, demons, scary words like that don't always mean what they sound like they mean. The 7 demons were just an erroneous condition of the mind, changing negative thinking, bad thinking, erroneous thinking. And so these erroneous thoughts were cast out of Mary, and she chose to follow Jesus as a master teacher. So the metaphysical error thinking she had was gone. He helped erase that from her. So in the Bible, when Jesus rebukes or casts out demons, he's just letting people know that it's the egoic thinking that is being released. That egoic thinking that's holding us back from being our most wonderful expression of ourselves and the perfection that Spirit has assured us that we are. So there are a lot of stories about Mary Magdalene, some of which, of course, claim she was the prostitute, some that claim she was Jesus' wife, and we don't really know a lot of hard facts about her. We do know that there was a Gospel of Mary found in 1896, I believe, in the mid-1890s, and there are a few writings about her. There are some claims from her, but what's important is what she represents in the stories that she brought forth or that were written about her. That divine feminine, the love, which is such a big love, a big, big love, and unconditional and pure. I love the teachings of Jesus. He's my favorite teacher, my master teacher, but I love even more that the love and the loyalty of Mary Magdalene. Think about it, when all the disciples ran away, when Jesus was being crucified, and it was the women that hung around, that divine love that poured forth, that unconditional love. And then when women came to roll away the stone, to look after him after he'd been put in the tomb, it was women because the male disciples had run away. So that love and that loyalty that comes forth in the divine feminine. So I like Mary. I've always liked Mary. I like her a lot. So I'm sorry to repeat her story, but I love keeping her at top of mind. I think about her a lot. She's such a role model. And then there's the mother of the Unity movement, Myrtle Fillmore. I mentioned her 2 years ago too, and reminded everyone that she was the one who originally did the learning, the reading, the listening, the investigation, and I won't say started the Unity movement, but she was the spark, the divine spark that lit the fire and enthused Charles Fillmore with all of the information about this new way of thinking. So we think of Myrtle Fillmore as the mother of unity, and indeed she was. She had curiosity, she had discipline, she had devotion. She was a letter writer. She was not out in front of the movement speaking, being the mouthpiece, but she was the letter writer. She was the quiet one who devotedly sat and prayed and had trust and faith. Myrtle leaned in first. Somebody else, and this brings me to someone else that I want to introduce you to. You may or may not be familiar with her. So forgive me if you know all about Julian of Norwich, but she's another person that is always at the top of mind for me. I think about her life a lot, her teachings, her wisdom. So I want to share a little bit about her. Julian of Norwich. Norwich is in England. Julian, we're not sure if that was really her name or not. That's been the name that's been given to her. We do know that she was born in the 14th century in England, in or near, very near the town of Norwich, which was a spiritual center, a big spiritual center in England. She lived her whole life in that city, and she suffered in her life. She suffered in the Black Death. She suffered through the Peasants' Revolt. Hard times, hard times. In fact, even recently during the pandemic, some wisdom teachers have talked about Julian of Norwich and how self-isolating she was. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but that all of the self-isolation that Julian of Norwich went through it. So when she was about 30 years old, she fell ill, and we don't know exactly what it was, but she was so sick, she was close to death. And while she was on her deathbed, she had 16 different visions. And the visions were words and stories that God brought to her. Not a lot of details about these, except that after her visions, she decided to move herself apart from family and community and go live in what's been described as a cell. She wasn't imprisoned, but she lived in a small little room on the grounds of the church there in Norwich. She lived in this very, very small space apart from the rest of the community. And again, wasn't a prisoner, although they called it a cell. I think that's just because it was very, very small. People of every class would come to her. They knew she'd had these visions from God, and she didn't go out and stand on a street corner and speak about them, but people knew that she'd had visions and words from God. The visions and the trauma that she'd been through caused a transformation in her. She returned to a place of complete and pure love, fully at peace. Now, one of the reasons that she's remembered, not only because she had these 16 visions, and not only because she would be in her cell and people would come to her She's considered a mystic of the Middle Ages. And they would come to her to listen to her wise sayings and the things she had to say about spirituality and religion. But she also wrote, little known fact, she wrote the very first book written in English by a woman, and it was called Revelations of Divine Love. And over time, people have studied the book. They've been studied, and I won't say translated because they were in English, but interpreted into long versions and short versions. The most important thing about the divine revelations is that the revelations came from God and that the message was pure love. She's been revered by the Church of England, which of course is the Catholic faith when she was alive and then became the Church of England. So the Church of England honors her. The Catholic faith still honors her because there's a lot of profound wisdom coming from this divine feminine that originated from God. Pope Benedict XVI said in 2010, when he was referring to Julian of Norwich, Julian of Norwich understood the central message for spiritual life. God is love, and it is only if one opens oneself to this love, totally and with trust, with total trust, and lets it become one's sole guide in life, that all things are transfigured, true peace, true joy, all found, and one is able to radiate it. He also said, and all will be well. That's one of the famous lines, is with love and total trust, all will be well. All manner of things shall be well. This is the final message that Julian of Norwich transmits to us and that I am proposing to you today. And that was from Pope Benedict. And I couldn't agree more. Love and total trust. So the message is conveyed by these three women, by Mary Magdalene, Myrtle Fillmore, by Julian of Norwich, two of whom we know very little about and could have just fallen into obscurity, Julian and Mary Magdalene. There's love and total trust, that's the basis for spiritual life, pure and simple. And I would suggest to you today that we could eliminate every single book on how to improve life, how to be a better person. We could eliminate every single wisdom teacher, every single guru, every single minister, every licensed teacher, if we as our best own teachers could adopt the lessons taught by Jesus and these three women. Their stories, which may be somewhat complete, maybe incomplete, have lasted through all the centuries, and their messages are essentially the same: love and total trust. Now, I'm here to tell you today that I fail miserably at this, believing in love and total trust. But yet I know that the message from the mystics and wisdom teachers of the ages is correct. I believe it with my heart, and I deeply yearn, and work diligently every day to get there. I'm not sure if I ever will. I ask, do I need to do as Mary Magdalene did and give up everything and follow some great teacher and devote 1,000% of my time to my spirituality? Do I need to go apart from the world and live like Julian of Norwich did? Isolate myself so that that's all I can do is focus on love and trust? Or do I need to do like Myrtle Fillmore did and pray for hours on end? Be in the silence, stay focused? Well, I don't have the answer to that question. I do think we can be supported by what these women went through and what they showed to us as their own personal practices, and try and miss the mark, try again, miss the mark, but yet try again every day, because we know that role models and mentors are essential for us. And we just keep plugging along, doing the best we can. Will we ever arrive? Maybe not. Only we know individually how close we are to that or not. But for me, the end of the learning is nowhere near done. But I am inspired by these women and men over time, but these women who were so firmly grounded in love and total trust. And so I try every day. I think that's the best we can ask of ourselves, is just to get up every day and be grateful and to try again, do a little better each day, to be curious and just to keep trying. So what does it look like? It may not look like, what we try and do may not look like what these women did. It may not look for sitting for hours in prayer. It may not look like taking ourselves away and isolating and speaking wise thoughts. But developing personal practices that work for us, that fit in our lives, whether it's prayer or meditation, writing in a journal, hiking in the woods, enjoying nature, loving each other, being in community with friends, setting boundaries with those who take away from the best we can be. And when we fall down and it's not working, no blame, no shame, just start again. Just start again. I believe that our purpose on earth and why we are here is to love and to be love. Along with our master teacher, the 3 women I've talked about, these are all examples of love, and I think about them often, all of them. Yes, they were women. However, they represent the divine feminine that embraces the knowledge of life as love. As a dear friend of mine used to say very frequently, there's nothing here but God. And I believe that is true, but my own mantra is that there is nothing here but love. And it is in each of us, and it is each of us. Nothing else but love. Just ask Mary and Myrtle and Julian. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you. Go and be love.
Thank you, Debbie, for that wonderful message. We always enjoy having you share your words with us, and we look forward to sometime, maybe not in the not too far distant future, for you to actually come down once again, as you have in the past, and join us here physically. In the meantime, thank you so much for your message today. And now comes the time when we take our tithes and our offerings in our hands, virtually, and literally we send in money, of course, because we might need to support the community. As I keep telling you, the universe is in a state of give and take constantly. As you give, so you receive, and it's just breathing in and breathing out, that reciprocity. So I invite you to take your offerings, and I thank you on behalf of the community for all that you do, whether it be financially or with your time or whatever, however way that you contribute to this center. We take all that, and we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I'll give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified in kind, God. I'll give it back to you.
Thank you once again for joining us this morning. As I said before, we are delighted to have you and very grateful to have you with us. During this time of sharing mindful contemplation, affirmations, meditation, and music, I would like to close this morning's celebration with the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So it is. Have a blessed week. Get vaccinated. And we look forward to getting back together sometime soon. It's getting closer and closer. God bless you all.